Hey everyone, welcome back to Realms of Arkania, Blade of Destiny, and today I am somewhat sort of just working my way up the map here to Felstoon, and Felstoon is a town that someone's living in who has a bit of information for us. So I'm heading that way. Basically, at this point, I'm looking for a marketplace. Here we go, general goods. Everybody seems to have the same goods in every store, so... or like every general store anyway. This guy seems to have a bunch of jewelry. That's different. Alchemy set. Small case filled with crucible, mortar, and pestle, glass flasks, and I can't read that. Indispensable for brewing alchemy potions and concoctions. Contrary to popular beliefs, cannot be used to turn lead into gold. That is incredibly valuable. I'm gonna have to buy one. I don't really see any way around it. We're gonna have to haggle though. Who's my fast talker? Ah! He's not going for it. Damn it. I have no idea who can use an alchemy kit. I am interested in trying to trim down everyone's weight. We were sitting by the campfire and someone made mention that someone was a little overweight. I don't really think they need any booze. I know in the more difficult sections of the game, you need food and water, but it really isn't coming up here. Like the first time I played this through, I played it on the hardest difficulty because I'm an idiot like that. And everyone was always complaining about being thirsty and being hungry, and it was kind of a pain, but we're hauling around like contents of a liquor store here at this point. Oh, good. Oh no, I thought he agreed. He gave me 5% more. Whoops. Okay. Now I have to figure out who has the best chemistry or alchemy score. Dear. That'll be in talents, maybe? Plant lore. Alchemy, -6, so not her. 4. -4. 2, not bad. -5. And 8. Well, there you have it. Dello is our alchemist. Let's see. Well, he might as well hold the herbs. Whoops. I can see this could get annoying. Didn't she just get this? Didn't I just pick up? Was it this girl? Alchemy set, yeah. Alright. Now, how do we use it? Maybe it's when we rest? Yeah, it must be a talent. Alchemy. I have to have recipes in order to use it, okay. Never mind. Well, away we go then. Maybe we get recipes by sweet-talking people who work in the alchemy store. Just as you're crossing the hill crest, you discover a camp with 4 orcs and an ogre below. The ogre seems to have spotted you as well. He's pointing at you. The 5 grab their weapons and immediately come towards you. Do you want to? I think I'm gonna have to fight them. Well, this isn't going well. Orcs are really nasty. Yes. Whoops. Let's see. Take it this was before I did all that legwork with the alchemy kit. I'm just guessing. Alright, but call me crazy, but we don't have an alchemy recipe right now, so having an alchemy kit is really kind of pointless. But here's the bad news. I think that... Whoops. Why would it open up my... travel map, that's what I wanted. I think those orcs are actually a soft barrier. Say I can't go all the way up there without hitting enemies that are going to be too powerful for me. So I think we're going to have to go back from whence we came and do a couple of these little side missions. Wow, we did not get far. What's going on? Is that from traveling at night, or what is that? "23 hours, I don't think so. These are resting for 6. Oh, she wants to go to the other side of the bank to get these herbs. Alright, fine. More dead than alive, more dead than alive. Happily, more or less relieved to have made it to the opposite riverbank. You can see a really good place to look for herbs. These herbs better be worth it. Alright, 1 berry. Yeah. If I had any, you would have to swim back in order to make progress. Do you want to? That sucks. Basically killing everyone. But we got some herbs. Challenge near Bodir. You notice several rafts and large boats. Pardon me, at the riverside of Vilnholm, waiting for their next journey through Bodir River. You approach to a boat where several muscular Thorwallians are carrying goods to be hauled away to some distant town for profit, while some young deckhands are risking their hard-earned farthings at gambling against older ones. One of the Thorwallians bumps into Aranilla on passing and looks at her with a penetrating gaze. Spitting noisily, he mutters in a crisp tone, "You don't look like a rafter or a passenger. If you got no business, stay out of my way." Then he starts to walk towards to get another crate of goods. Aranilla says, okay, I don't think she's the type to be talking trash. Maybe we could cheat them at cards. Aranilla has a hard time against this rafter in gambling. With a soft sigh, she clenches her fists in frustration before dropping the cards on the table. With a greedy smile, the Thorwallian cleans up the table from your ducats and farthings. Aranilla stands up, cursing to Fex for bestowing no luck at all. Well, I thought I'd be able to pick the person. Ooh. Oh, I've been poisoned. I just lost the cards and then I got bit by a snake. I'm getting like beaten down. Let's take a look here. Where am I exactly? Okay, I should probably find an inn at this point and let them heal up a bit. They heal very slowly when we're out on the road. Totally beat at cards there, that sucked. Oh boy. I wish that every house in this whole world was built out of the same material. Alright, I am going to use a little bit of magic here to see if I can't move a bit of poisoning. Now, I should have probably looked at this first, but he is poison, right? don't see that as a status effect on him at all. Or was it this fella? It really doesn't say. He doesn't seem poisoned. I don't think he's poisoned. Maybe he took damage, but he's not poisoned. I just jumped to that conclusion. Everything's a miss with this treat wounds. Alright, well let's save anyway and they're a little worse for wear, but I think they have enough to get back through this. And let's see. Damn. As Gerbod disappears behind the bush, Delos suddenly yells, "Don't get raided by orcs. As overburdened as you are, they'd finish you off because you can't move." Okay. How far are we here? Oh, good. I think they've been doing okay. They're not like super worn out or anything. Maybe before we go, they keep making these comments about Gerbod being overweight. And I guess they're right. I guess they're right about that. I guess I intended on selling all this stuff, so I could still do that. I could still go and do that. I guess I led us into like a death trap right after I sold all this stuff the first time. So is this the town without any shops? I think we're not going to be able to sell anything in this town, so... No, we'll carry on. Dello raises his voice. The nights are cold. We should check for warmer equipment at the next village. Yeah, that might be a good point. Which is maybe why they're not healing as quickly. I'm gonna say no, and we'll just carry on. It's like noon. It's like halfway through a day. And we're almost there, so I'm gonna say no again. Ah. That didn't work at all. That totally backfired. Oh no! Krill Vipers. Startled 3 Krill Vipers. Uh-oh. Is this gonna be an actual fight against the snakes? No, we made it. Okay, before I go to the spot that I see on the map here, I'm just gonna see about an inn. Well, actually, they don't seem too torn up about it, so... What is it exactly I'm looking for? I'm looking for somebody's house here. Ah, you knock on the door, and after a short while, a wise-looking man appears. You explain the cause of your attendance. The man glances at every single one of you and says, "You are the third group of volunteers that offers their help. Unfortunately, we don't know what has happened to the first 2 groups. They have been rather optimistic to find the culprits. Don't get me wrong, but you don't look as experienced as you should in order to solve this issue. By Travia, I don't want another group of volunteers to get lost. Please leave this place as quickly as possible. You must not suffer the same fate. As you can see, we need help of various experienced people. Travia may bless you, travelers." Then the old man closes the door. Okay, so no headway on that quest whatsoever. Okay. That's the same quest. Huh. Wait, the map should tell us. Arkania doesn't manage to refrain from instructing Aranilla. We should pay attention to carrying at least Doff stocks. Okay. Help with frost damage and paralysis if need be. I should head out to collect these herbs from time to time. Okay. But we can't really mix potions, so that's kind of a useless piece of information. Okay, so we have to cross the river here, so I think there's a ferry that helps us cross the river. Okay. That's definitely the river part. Wonder if this helps. Oh, it can, yeah. A ferry. You are on the banks of the Bodir. A rather rickety-looking ferry crosses the river. A ferryman greets you crabbily. Want to cross? That'll be 5 farthings per person if you wait until enough other passengers arrive, otherwise 10 farthings. So, what do you want? Yeah. Okay. What was it? What was it I was doing over here? Basically, this is just a port on the other side of the river. So a few of these little travel things that we're doing, I've got a couple of times already, so. Asleaf the Bald. On your journey, you encounter a bald-headed Thorwallian in traditional wool clothing. A broadsword is fastened to his belt, and he's got a lute on his side. He approaches and greets you in the name of Swafnir. So your fighters calm down a bit. The stranger introduces himself as Asleaf the Bald, Nelgardson, the most famous skald south of the Merrick. He preens himself on being one of the few about whom a 39-verse song has been written already in his lifetime. Of course, not 30, not what? Of course not by himself, but also the Thorwall that's not quite the thing. Whatever. Apart from that, he has visited every village and farm and hamlet between Ingval and Galska, and every Odiskin between Nearsand and Pavi. The Skald mentions that he has been one of the councils of the Hetwoman Gerhalt for a while, the predecessor and mother of the Hetman Trond, until the task grew too boring for him. He explains that he is a kind of messenger, but you shouldn't entrust urgent messages with him because he likes lingering in a village for a whole summer. After a while, he realizes that none of you has mocked him because of his bald head. So he goes on and talks about Oldport and its Hall of the Winds and Vidsand and one of the oldest settlements in... yeah. Once he notices your expectant and curious faces, he finally asks you if you have ever heard of Jurga Ballad. Before you can answer, he starts singing with a canorous voice. With dramatic lute sounds, he accompanies the well-known Thorwallian epic poem. I'm not reading the whole poem, come on. 10 verses later, long after the Skald has mesmerized you with his voice, he sings about the foe. Okay, I see where this is going again. This is another long-winded guy. Yes, I'll hear him out. No, I'm not listening to his whole story. So some people you meet along the road are dicks. It's basically the moral of that story. All right. Oh, a farmer is eating his meal. Here you can hear cows lowing and goats bleating in the rolling hills around Breda. This area is clearly much too civilized for a real adventurer bent on having an adventure. Fair enough. Okay, there's an inn. I wouldn't mind being able to sell some stuff. But, gotta go talk to this guy. The bridge on the way to Trolia is rather rickety. I won't survive the next storm. Fine. I'm just kind of looking for... Oh, here we go, the tavern. Okay, so he didn't have any information for me. That's surprising. Yeah, I'm just, I have to basically just check every house to see what's what. I don't really know what else to do because they don't have markers on the map for anything. And I talked to the innkeeper and he didn't give me a hint. I kind of sort of expected a hint. A young man eyes you with curiosity, then says hastily, "Travia be with you. My name is Terolf. Are you looking for dangerous adventures? I would love to come with you." You notice right away that Terolf is a bookworm with a fondness for sweets. The remains of licorice and boiled sweets are smashed between countless books of adventure in faraway lands. You exit the house quickly without further thought to the voracious reader. Can't really say what else I should do here. Unless I can go back to the pub, convince that guy to tell me where this person lives. Aha! Certainly, he lives at the marketplace across from the temple. Perfect. Brita always has a market on the first and third days of the month. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, we all got shit-faced. Oh, we all got rattled by that. Oh well. A young brown-haired man is outside the house chopping wood with a scraja, as though it were cork. When he sees you approaching, he puts down the weapon and comes to greet you. Hello, did you wish to see me? I'm Asgrim Thorboltson. Excellent, you're just the person we wish to see. The 12th are merciful. Me? Really? What a pleasure. I rarely get visitors. Please come in. Asgrim does his very best to make you feel at home. Travia is bound to look upon him kindly for a long time to come. He serves a delicious stew with pieces of chicken. Afterwards he brings out a large pitcher and serves a round of homebrew. Shit. For the first time since you entered the house, he finally sits down. No doubt you want to know about my great-great-grandfather. Actually, we would like to know about... Okay, perhaps it depends. You'd be surprised. You see, my ancestor was the sole survivor of the expedition of Helgelik undertook into Orkland, and he was one of Helgik's close friends. Yes, they made it to wherever and even far beyond. They were heroes and pioneers. My great-great-grandfather was the sole survivor, and although Helgik died... No, I know what you're all going to say, but he was no coward. Not my great-great-grandfather, I can prove it. He brought back booty from the orcs. He disappeared into an adjoining room briefly, returning with a casket, the contents of which he pours onto the table. Some ancient gold coins, a locket, and an unusual wrought iron. Feathered construct vaguely reminiscent of a tiara. An orc chieftain's crown, he announces proudly. Old Asgrim himself cut it off the black belt's body. I'd say so. Asgrim preens himself as though he had personally brought down the orc chieftain. Old Hedgelek fell, and the orcs killed all the others as well. In the end, my great-great-grandfather stood alone on the battlefield. Yes, that's what happened in Orkland back then. My ancestor fought his way home all by himself. And then what happened? Well, that's the end of the story. Asgrim settled down here in Breda to live out his days in peace. He had grown old, and after all, he passed away a year later, but that's the path we all take, whether we be heroes or not. Hedgelik, all people ever want to hear about is Hedgelik. Hedgelik, nobody wants to know about old Asgrim. Why don't you ask Hojor Aronson in Otarj? These town names and people names and he's related to him, not me. Or Ragna. Jesus Christ, he's going to give me a list of names too. Perhaps you are more inclined to believe the people in Vidsand. Fairy tales, that's all they ever tell. Fairy tales. He can barely control his rage. Finally he manages to calm down. I apologize, but sometimes my temper gets the better of me, he says in a barely audible tone. A pity. It will just be my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Do visit me again sometimes if you happen to return to these parts, Asgrim says. He walks you to the door, visibly trying to bid you a polite farewell. That's that. Damn it. So all we get for that is a bunch more spots in our little quest book, as our long list of visits expands. Anybody close by? That would be perfect. No, it doesn't look like it. So we might be able to come by land that way. Take off that one and that one. And yeah, I don't think we can do anything more in Ruckian. Orville, yeah. Vidsand. Yeah. I don't know where Vidsand was. There's Orville. Where's Vidsand? One of those I don't see. Oh, there it is. It's like the furthest possible away. Okay, so I guess we'll head back out and kind of towards this way. Alright, so I am going to cut it off here, and we'll pick it up here next time. Hope you've enjoyed. This game has a little bit of little bit of fun to it. I don't know. It's winning me over slowly just with its little stories and the way that it's building on to the main story. I kind of enjoyed it. It's not like the flashiest game ever, but it has a little bit of imagination to it, so I'm enjoying it. But come back and watch again. Thanks for watching.